Okay, hello YouTube. Welcome to another episode of FPL Family, and this is another special Manager of the Month episode with our December Manager of the Month, Mr. Kyle Henderson. Well done, Kyle, and welcome and congratulations, first and foremost. December's Manager of the Month in our Patreon League, the mini league winner with goodness knows how many points, over 300, I think. A ridiculous amount of points. A fantastic Christmas. Tell us about yourself. Where do you live? How did you get into FPL? Give us a bit about yourself.
Hi there, Happy New Year. I come from Scotland, I don't really have a team that I support in the Premier League. So FPL was a good way to follow the Premier League and to, just to get involved with the results and seeing who's scoring, who's playing well. I got into fantasy during the World Cup, the most recent World Cup, playing amongst my friends, and it was again Scotland not being in the World Cup, sadly. It gave me a good way to. Yeah. It gave me a good way to follow the FPL and get into FPL for the first season last season. So this is now my second season in FPL.
Oh, nice. Okay. So what did you learn in the first season that you've kind of taken into the second season, or did you take season one very seriously, or was it a bit of a warm up for this year?
Semi-seriously. I was in a league with my friends. I'm doing quite well. Undefeated at the moment. Beat them in the World Cup. And
nice.
Obviously, not to blow my own horn a bit. But,
I like that.
I didn't realise there was such a big community of FPL, like pundits like yourselves, putting out videos. And there's so much depth you can go into in analysing fantasy. And it's quite an addictive little game.
So are you, do you go into that level of depth? Are you a real stats man, or are you a real, I just like to watch it and I trust my gut and my instinct and my eye test? What sort of player are you?
I think you can get caught up with the stats a bit too much sometimes. I mean, generally I watch the videos and see what stats you guys are saying and see if I agree with them or not. But the eye test definitely is.
You're not listening to what I say. Listen to what Sam says.
Yeah, but even then, I think there comes a point where you just trust your gut on it, don't you? It's like you read all the stats, you look at all the information that's out there, but then you kind of comes to it. You have to just follow your gut on it.
Yeah, a bit of a balance, I think. Yeah, do you feel like you find that balance, Carl, or do you feel like you go one way or the other?
A little bit. I mean, I normally find that I go with my gut and I'm completely wrong. I mean, obviously, with the exception of this last month, it's just been a bit uncanny in the picks I've been getting have just been coming right. A bit of a balance, really. Sometimes you just got a feeling about a player and you play them and see what happens.
So go on then. This season, who's been your best gut feeling pick? Who's one of those players that you've just thought, do you know what? Just going to go for him. No stats, none of that. I just got a gut feel about him. And who's been your best pick?
Yeah, for this season or this month?
Let's go for the season, because I want to talk about the month specifically in a bit, because you had an absolutely amazing December. But for the season, who's been your best gut pick?
So before the Arsenal game, I was quite interested in Danny Ings. He'd been in quite good form, and I thought maybe Arsenal, shaky defence, he might get a goal. So I brought him in what I thought was a week early, put him in on my team for the Arsenal game. I think it was 6 minutes in, he scored, and ever since, Danny Ings has just been fantastic.
Don't want to talk about it.
He's a hero.
Don't want to talk about it.
He's literally a hero, and even against my beloveds at the weekend, he still managed to maintain heroship in my eyes by keeping my rank all right.
Do you know what was annoying about that goal against Spurs was that actually up until then, all he scores is fluke goals where keepers give him the ball. But that goal against Spurs was an actual worldie, wasn't it? He completely retired. Who is it? Toby Alderweireld.
Excuse me. Now, don't be horrible about my Toby.
Completely retired him and slotted it in the bottom corner. Absolutely sensational. So how's your season going so far? Kyle, talk us through your overall rank and where you are in the season.
Yeah, it was a bit of an up and down start. It started off a bit slow. And I just couldn't quite get the picks right for the first sort of 7 or 8 game weeks. It was a bit up and down. I think by game week 3, I was at 400k. And then by game week 5, I was at 1.5 million. Don't quite know what went wrong.
We've all been there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Plenty of people watching this that will be like, yeah, been there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just such a crazy season. As soon as I wildcarded in game week 10, it's kind of been green arrows ever since. And I've been climbing, and now I'm up to about 130k, I think. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm managing to climb up.
So how do you feel about 130k? You sort of happy with that? What's your overall sort of season target? Where would you like to be come May?
As high as I can get, really. I don't know. I mean, maybe 100k, 50k seems maybe a bit ambitious, but would be a nice place to sit.
Where did you finish last season in your first year?
I think it was 400k or something.
Okay, so you're on target to beat that, right?
Yeah, I mean, already beaten that target, it seems. So
I think
Yeah.
that it's still really close, isn't it, in terms of points? So even from like 130k, well, as you've proven over the last few weeks, it's easy to get. Where are you now? 60k in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
just
done right last
some
couple of
few
weeks.
good game
Yeah.
weeks. So I think 50k is definitely achievable.
Yeah, I must admit. So December was quite good for me. I've had a few green arrows in a row, which is good, but nothing compared to Kyle.
Nothing like this.
Compared to Kyle. Absolutely sensational December. So talk us through what happened. What was it about December, Kyle, that just made you completely blow up in your mini leagues? Absolutely sensational December.
I don't know. I thought I had quite a bad start to be honest. Like I captained Kevin De Bruyne in the Leicester game, and I was watching the sort of Twitter reactions and everything, and he's hit the bar again, and I think he got man of the match in that game. He had like so much creative opportunities, and he got 1 assist and a yellow card, and I was like, that's awful. And I had another transfer dilemma where I had McGinn and I had Cantwell, and McGinn was coming into good fixtures but had bad form. But being a Scotsman, I'm kind of wanting to do well, so I kept McGinn and I took Cantwell out for Traore. And I was thinking about Grealish as well, but I thought no. And then that was the week that McGinn got injured in like 8th minute, and Cantwell went and scored, and I took him out. So it started pretty badly, but I don't know. The fixtures just came thick and fast, and they just kept them going right. Some of the captaincy decisions were coming off really well. Like I captained Dele Alli, as was recommended by Sam.
Okay.
Legend.
I had a feeling about him, like a gut feeling, and then I suddenly got to the game, and for like 72 minutes, I was just like, why did I captain him? Why did I captain him? And I see all these things online saying he's looking more of a defensive midfielder, and I was eating my Boxing Day dinner with my family, and I was frustrated.
Why have you done this to me?
Yeah. Then eventually he pops up, and Serge Aurier gets him an assist, and he gets the goal, and I hit the roof then.
You can imagine what I was like in the stadium, can't you, at that point?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that felt like a lucky one.
Because you captained Ali that game as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the one where we were in the stadium and I threw our little boy in
the air. Kyle, I tell you what, that game, I don't even want to talk about it. He did not have a kick in that game, Dele Alli.
Excuse me.
He did not have a kick.
Kyle and I, we know what we're doing.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that game. That was the worst first half performance I've ever seen from a Premier League team. That was so woeful in the first half. And then he brought on like Lo Celso against Brighton, wasn't it? And then Ericsson sort of came on and gave you a bit of guide, a bit of creativity, and somehow got a win out of it. I genuinely don't know. But we're not going to turn this into a Spurs video because we could easily do that with the Kane hamstring injury and everything else. What's your kind of thoughts for the next sort of 4 or 5 game weeks then, Carl, as we kind of get back into that more regularity of FPL? I mean, Christmas is one of those periods where if you come out of it where you want to be and you've got a few green arrows, I think you can safely call that a success. Now we're coming into January. We've got a bit of a break for the FA Cup. We get a week now to think about our FPL teams by and large. Over the course of January, who have you got your eye on then, players wise, for the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks?
I see a lot of value in Everton players with Ancelotti at the wheel. Like Calvert-Lewin's is playing 90 minutes and he's got the confidence of the manager. Hopefully he can transform that into performances and points. And obviously the double ups coming up with West Ham and Liverpool is interesting me. I'm quite tempted to get on Robertson. Again, that might be Scottish bias.
Trent?
Yeah, I've got Trent.
So the double up in the pack. Interesting.
And have you got Salah or Mane in the middle? How are you feeling about the midfielders?
I didn't really see I was tempted by Salah, but I held off and thought Mane's got the better form. He's having the better season. I felt like Salah was more like a nostalgia pick. Is that he's been good in the past, but I think Mane's the man at the moment. And certainly in December, Mane, I think every time he played, he delivered and got me points.
He is incredibly clinical. There's no doubt about it. I mean, even in the game that we just watched where Liverpool played Sheffield United, the Salah goal came. He took it very well, didn't he? And he could have had more goals actually in that game. Could have had a hat trick actually, but it came from a Baldock mistake. I mean, Baldock kind of fell, and Robbo gets the assist. So whereas Mane took his goal very, very well, and he was very decisive with his runs and very clinical. So I know it's a big topic in the FPL Twitter community right now about whether to go Salah or Mane or both, Trent or Robbo or both. I'm currently on Trent and Salah. And I must admit, I'm finding it very, very difficult to not have Mane as well for the double up in 24. How do you feel about it, Carl? Are you going to go for 3 Liverpool? And if you are, who are you going to go for?
I mean, it's tempting to go for free Liverpool. Salah's obviously really hard to finance. I don't want to get rid of Kevin De Bruyne. He's been fantastic for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tempting to go for free Liverpool, and at the price of what Trent and Robbo are, even at 7 million, and they're providing attacking returns, and the last 3 game weeks of clean sheets as well. They seem to have tightened up at the back. So yeah, I'm thinking about going to Robertson.
Okay, and what about you, Sam? You going 2 in the middle, 2 at the back? How are you feeling about it?
2 in the middle, I think.
You think? That sounds very convincing.
Yeah, I've just got to kind of ponder on how I'm getting there, because I'm about 0.1 away from it.
Oh, it's always 0.1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always.
So, yeah. But if I will find a way to get there, because I just feel like Mane and Salah, the points are just going to roll in for them. I can't believe that. I just don't think ever owning both of them is a bad idea.
No, okay, all right.
But then Robbo and Trent look great as well, don't they?
They do indeed. So we've all got our eyes on Liverpool. Any West Ham players catching your eye for that double?
It depends. I mean, they're not easy fixtures that they've got. Like they're playing Liverpool, and I can't remember the other team they're playing.
Leicester. They've got Liverpool and
Leicester. Yeah, I mean that's some hard games. I'd expect them to concede quite a lot of goals. So it's going to keep an eye on them and see what players are standing out, and because there might be a lot of negative points if they concede a lot of goals. But if you can get a player that plays 90 minutes of both games and you get 4 points out of them, that might be an option.
I'm kind of interested to scout them over the next couple of weeks before the double, because I kind of feel like I want to invest, because you don't often get teams come along with double game weeks. But you're right, Leicester and Liverpool, I don't see either of those sides conceding a lot of goals against West Ham. And at the same time, I see West Ham, as you quite rightly say, Carl, probably conceding a few as well, as the top 2 go at them. And a lot of people going for Fabianski, I can see that. But a lot of people going for him on the basis that he'll get some save points for them. Okay, I get that, but you ideally want 2 clean sheets. You could concede 4 in each game, couldn't he? So very difficult to judge. And
I think we are somewhat being lulled into a false sense of security by that game against Bournemouth last weekend. It very much flattered them playing Bournemouth.
Oh, Bournemouth were terrible, weren't they?
So poor.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, if you look at them for the last 10 game weeks, they're bottom of the table. So West Ham just looked great. Let's see over the next couple before that double whether they are actually as good as they seem to be.
Okay.
Against Bournemouth.
Yeah. All right. And what about the Premier League then, Carl? How do you see it playing out from here? Is the league done? Do you think?
Oh, here we go.
How are you thinking about the Championship race?
I mean, I think if
ask that question.
I think if Liverpool lose the league now, then they're never going to win it. I mean, there's never been a better time.
Don't say things like that.
You'll have to leave the country.
Oh, FPL Family's done if we don't win it from here. I mean, no, to be fair, no, that's wrong, because whenever anybody asks me if the league's won, I can't sit here and say yes, right? I've got to say, long way to go. Got plenty of football to be played. You have to have that mentality, don't you? You have to have that mentality. Who do you think is going to be 2nd, 3rd and 4th then, Carl? So let's... Oh, God, I was just going to say let's... Yeah, tread carefully here. Tread carefully. So if we're going to say Liverpool first, I'm not saying that, but if you guys are going to say Liverpool first, who's 2, 3 and 4 in your mind?
Oh, it's a tough one to call. I mean,
and if you don't say Spurs, you're in big trouble.
Second and third are most likely Leicester and Man City.
Yeah.
And
no, that's right.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. Got some agreement over here. Okay,
it'll be Liverpool, Leicester, Man City. It's just who he's going to put 4. If he puts Spurs, I think he's mental. It's not going to be us.
I mean, yeah, I'd be surprised if it was Spurs.
So will I.
Who are you going for then? Who's going to be 4th?
I'd say Chelsea, perhaps. Yeah, probably Chelsea.
Chelsea could be Chelsea, couldn't it?
Yeah.
And this is going to go down very, very badly.
If you say Arsenal, I'm going to walk out.
There is going to be an Arsenal revival, I think, second half of this. I do. I feel it.
Right, Leicester are going to win the league.
So that's the top 4 done then. Who's going down? Who's getting relegated?
Now, be careful now. Because if you say Spurs in this, I'll be...
No, Spurs are safe. Spurs aren't getting relegated.
Safe.
15th at least, or 16th.
I don't know. I mean, look, Norwich probably, and perhaps Aston Villa. I'd be surprised. Like, Bournemouth are surprisingly bad at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
They seem normally quite consistent force. I don't know. It's hard to call who the 3rd team to get relegated would be.
Do you think Watford are going to survive?
I don't know.
Certainly their form suggests they're going to.
I think they've got potential to survive.
I think the team in trouble. I think you're spot on, Carl. I think the team in trouble is Villa. If you look at Villa, they've just had in the last game against Burnley, they had 2 real key injuries. One to Heaton, that's massive, and then one to Wesley. Which, given that they were just figuring out how to play with Wesley and Grealish and some of those other guys, and they've got Khadija, I think, is the guy to come in, the young forward. I don't feel like he's anywhere. I don't really rate Wesley too highly, but I'm not sure about Khadija at all. I think they're being linked with Batshuayi and a few others as well. But needless to say, they need
man to save Villa.
Well, they need to go out and get a striker and get a keeper ASAP. And with John McGinn, as you were saying before, Carl, out for a bit, it's kind of looking a bit iffy for Aston Villa, isn't it? I think for me it'd be them and Norwich. I think Norwich just concede too many goals. And then, it's difficult, isn't it? Bournemouth are in dire straits right now, but then Watford, if they suddenly turn again, a couple of key injuries, they might be back down there. Spurs without Kane going to be right down in the mix. No, not even go there. So what's your... I'm on thin ice now.
I'm on very thin ice.
In
a minute, I'm going to pull the lever in your chair so you fall down.
Good. So tell us about yourself, Carl. Where are you from? Have you got a Twitter profile, anything like that you want to shout out?
I haven't got Twitter or Instagram.
Oh, you should get on Twitter.
No Twitter or how did you find out about us? No Twitter, no Instagram.
YouTube,
right?
FPL show.
Okay.
And then found the YouTube and was like, good watch. Yeah.
Well, this is the point in the session here where we normally talk about what's your Twitter handle, and we'll promote you and all that sort of stuff. So if you do get on Twitter, Carl, let us know, and we'll talk about your handle.
I know, perfect opportunity, isn't it?
That's good
Plug
stuff.
myself.
Yeah, good stuff.
Call yourself Manager of the Month December or something.
Yeah. FPL Family Manager Month December. Kyle H. at. It's the longest Twitter name ever.
The longest ever.
So listen, Carl, thank you very much for joining us on FPL Family. Well done in December. Absolutely sensational. Just to give everybody, just a reminder of the prize that Kyle chose, because everybody seems to be picking Liverpool prizes. It's not a coincidence, but Kyle has gone for the Champions of Europe, the six times with all the signed players on it, the one that we normally sport on the wall behind me on a Sunday night at 8 p.m. So very, very good choice, Carl.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing. Come on, Spurs fans.
we need some more Spurs fans winning these Manager of the Month.
Somebody to win a Manager of the Month that doesn't want either Liverpool, Man United or Arsenal, because that's what we seem to send out every 5 minutes.
3 massive clubs.
All red.
3 massive clubs.
Red everywhere.
Well, listen, Carl, thanks for joining us. Well done in December, and good luck in January. You never know. We are still waiting for our first ever back-to-back Manager of the Month. How has January started for you?
I've got my first red arrow in the last
6 weeks. Not great then. Not great. Well, anyway, listen, good luck in January. If you do win back-to-back Manager months, that would be absolutely sensational.
Order a Spurs item.
Yes,
well, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just to go next to you, just for a bit of FPL Family balance. I
you
like
just
that.
put verses in the middle.
Very good. Yeah, very good. So thanks for joining us. Join us again on Sunday night, 8 p.m. If any of you guys are watching, let us know in the comments below, how did you get on against Carl? So Carl was our Manager of the Month for December. Let us know in the comments below, how did you get on in December? We want to know how many points you got, who was your best player, who are your players that you're looking for over the next few weeks. Carl reckons Everton. We reckon here Liverpool. We're going to look at a couple of West Ham as well. So get in the comments below. Let us know who you think your top players are going to be for FPL in January. Until then, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Leave us a like before you go, and we'll see you on the next video, which will be this Sunday, 8 p.m. with Sam and I talking about the upcoming game week, which is game week 22, where there is the little matter of Spurs versus Liverpool. The FPL Family Derby is on in game week 22. It is on. Thank you for joining, guys. Leave us a like, and we'll see you very, very soon. Cheers.
Bye, guys.
And